Hey, what's happening? We good? We good? You good? Good? I'm good? Good. So, when I started making videos again, you know, that one video I uploaded about 2-3 weeks ago, I thought to myself, I'm gonna try and upload at least one video a week. And I've already fucked that up. Look, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, the Final Fantasy XIV main scenario story is fucking enormous, okay? I need to get that shit done. I've got like a month to get it out of the way before Endwalker releases, and then I'll just get everything spoiled to shit. But when I kind of committed to making videos again, there was one thing that I wanted to do, and I think it might help with the whole, like, trying to get videos out more often thing. And some people might remember, but like way back in the day, I would make videos and then I would make videos kind of based on the reaction or responses to that video. And I always enjoyed doing them. I always found them interesting, and they allow you to kind of like address a wider scope of things than you would ordinarily be able to in like a single dedicated video on a dedicated subject. Also, added benefit, it's completely driven by you fuckers, so it's not on me. If the video sucks, if the subjects suck, that's not on me, that's on you. So yeah, how do you like them apples? Yeah, that's right, now you're on a fucking hot seat. Oh, I don't know how about this one was, it's a bit hot. Good, roast you bastard. Well, welcome to my fucking world. Anyway, so what you should be seeing right now, provided I haven't been exceptionally lazy, you could be seeing a bunch of comments with things like, hey, glad you're back, and oh, you're back, blah, blah, blah. Just nice comments from people trying to be nice. And as much as I appreciate them and I enjoy getting them, I don't really know what to do with them. So like, I don't feel like if I was to sit here and spend like 10 minutes just reading comments from people saying like, hey, glad you're back, oh, you're back, woohoo, what's this back stuff, it'd be like sucking my own dick, and that's not really something I tend to do. So we're just gonna skip them. But I wanted to make time to just point this out because I don't want to give the impression that I don't appreciate them. I do appreciate all the comments. I appreciate comments way more than like any of the other shit you can do in like YouTube, because they're things I can actually see, you know? They're real people. Well, I'm sorry, I say they're real people. There was a shitload of bots saying things like, oh wow, I've been waiting for this, and then linking to some, like throwing up a link, and I didn't bother clicking it because of course I'm not gonna fucking click it. But yeah, there was tons of that shit. I tweaked the settings and now they're gone from the looks of things, but yeah, I had to deal with that, so whatever. Anyway, on to the comments. So the first one is coming at you from a guy called Toma, who says, you literally complain about people complaining about the changes made to Boobop. Hang on a minute, I've got a dog traversing across hardwood floors. Hey! Hey! There you go. Okay. Sorry, where were we? Ah yes, Toma. You literally complain about people complaining about the changes made to Cowboy Bebop before spending half an hour complaining about Bebop. Can't you just complain about Bebop? Okay. Toma, my dude, please, for the love of God, hear me, because I feel like I have been arguing with you for 3.5 years, even though I had no idea who the fuck you were until I just read your name like 2 seconds ago. You understand that all complaints are not equal, right? Like, also, I don't like the term complaints because it implies an overtly emotional basis for what you're saying. I believe criticisms would be the far more apt term. And criticisms, much like complaints, are also not equal. They can be good if your arguments are good, and the premise those arguments are based upon is valid, and they can be bad if you have no points at all and make no effort to establish any kind of premise whatsoever. Now, if you believe you have good arguments, and you want to distinguish those good arguments from all the bad arguments you see other people making, it is beneficial to your argument, to your criticisms, to highlight how and why what you're saying is different from what everyone else is saying. Or at least it should be. Generally speaking, people are gonna pigeonhole you wherever the fuck they want, regardless. But you have to assume people are gonna act in good faith for your own sanity, if nothing else. Anyway, Toma continues, because actually this is a pretty long comment. Wow, Jesus. Alright. The entire first part feels like you trying to talk yourself into doing what you want to do. First, you need to complain about all these terrible right-wingers that you, as a leftist, yeah, I call myself a leftist, and I do that out of habit. I shouldn't. Like, everyone else calls you a leftist, so I just kind of owned it, and now people are like, oh, you're actually a communist, and it's like, no. But anyway, you as a leftist definitely can't be seen to agree with anymore. Then you go, well, if I had to theoretically make an argument as to why Boobop movie is looking bad, then this is how I would do it. Yeah, Toma, no. I mean, I've already talked about how it's good to highlight why bad arguments are bad if you're going to make good arguments, and talk about why your arguments are better than the bad ones. This is just something that's interesting to talk about. I don't like, do you think this is a culture war thing? Because I'm done with that shit, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, back to his comment. Well, hang on a minute, where was I? Sorry. Theoretically, this is... Okay, here we are. It's this type of thinking that caused you to delete almost all your old content, even though you know they've raised decent points. This is exactly the sort of stuff you would have deleted had you released it 3 years ago, except with more right-wing complaining. Alright, no. 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 That's not it. I mean, I might talk about okay, people keep bringing this up. I didn't realize it'd be such a sore point for a lot of people. But I do feel like a lot of people are willfully forgetting what was going on roughly the time that those videos disappeared. I mean, maybe you don't remember, but I remember Bloodsports in its full swing. I remember all of these so-called skeptics doing everything that they could to bow and scrape and fucking beg for a little fucking scrap from the table of Bloodsports. And suddenly all of these people who were like center-left liberals back in the Gamergate days are suddenly talking about how, you know, well, just because you're an ethno-nationalist, that doesn't make you a white nationalist, and who says a white nationalist is technically a Nazi to begin with? You know what I mean? Like, these are the in-depth discussions we're suddenly having. People running around talking about how Rage After Storm was right. I'm sorry, right about what exactly? Motherfucker said that black people didn't understand the concept of fucking time. I'm so sorry, you're gonna have to be more specific on that one, my friend. Oh, you don't want to be specific because you're just trying to suck cock for clout. Oh, and all the rest of you, you're all down with that. You're all cool with that. Okay, fine. Well, you know what? Fuck all of you. I don't want anything to do with this. And if anything that I did could lead anyone to anywhere in the vicinity of anything that you fucking people are attached to, I want to fucking burn that shit to the ground. Even if it fucks me over in the process. Which it did do. Like, if you think the YouTube algorithm doesn't like you when your videos aren't monetized, you should see what the YouTube algorithm does to your channel when you delete almost every single view your channel has gained over like 3 years. It actively punishes your channel. And I don't really have a problem with that. You know, actions have consequences. They should do. And I ain't really here for clout to begin with, so fuck it. And there is a much bigger discussion surrounding all of this, and it has a lot to do with the whole fucking kraut thing. But yeah, that's basically where that is. I didn't delete those videos because of some like deeply intrinsic thing with me. Like, that's not what that is. I had nothing to do with that. Like, if the world revolved around me, those videos would still be there, but it doesn't. Like, everyone else was in there and they were doing shit that I was like, you know, my name is attached to a lot of these people. I've defended some of these people in the past. Like, I've put my neck out for a lot of people in this community, and I feel like a fucking idiot now. And if anyone watches those videos, because those people still watch those videos, if anyone sees that shit and thinks that these people are worth their time because of something that I said, dude, that's fucked up. And I had an obligation to do something about that. I mean, if people were more critical of the media they consume, then a lot of this would be unnecessary, but they're not. People will literally just go with whatever the fucking last thing they heard was. So, I'm sorry, but, you know, but if you have any kind of platform, there's a degree of responsibility that comes with that. And if you feel like you've used your platform irresponsibly, then, you know, you got to do something about that. And I did, and those videos are gone. So, sorry. I do still have them. They're backed up somewhere. I just can't be bothered to watch them. So, you know, they might be back one day. They might not. I don't know. Someone suggested making a video where I responded to like my old videos. That's not going to go. I don't think that's going to go the way anyone wants it to, because I'm going to agree with a lot of stuff that I said back then, because it's me and they're my opinions. I'm sorry, like I didn't go along with the whole alt-right shit. Like I got fucked over for opposing it. Like, still pro free speech, always have been, always will be. I just am honest about where I draw the lines. I don't run around talking about how I'm some fucking absolutist and then start jumping on every boycott and fucking bandwagon that presents itself. I'm also not stupid enough to get fucking press ganged into defending reprehensible shit on the basis of defending free speech. Like, I actually understand the difference between defending someone's right to say something and defending the thing that they actually fucking say, which apparently a lot of people don't. It's the same like problem a lot of people had with the whole Muslim thing. Like they didn't understand the difference between attacking Islam as an ideology and then just randomly being racist to Muslims. Like this was a weird fucking disconnect in the heads of a lot of people, Kraut included. Anyway, well, let's continue with fucking Toma's thing, because this is basically becoming a video response to this one fucking guy at this point. So anyway, where were we? Except with more right-wing complaining. Yeah, I think that's where we were. And yeah, we ain't friends, but you and Sargon had, oh, for fuck's sake. Why is it? He fucking, Jesus Christ. I'm starting to think there's a reason why Chrissy Winners and Kevin Logan could never shut the fuck up about him and Bearing. It's all anyone ever seems to want to fucking talk to him about. Alright. Yeah, we ain't friends, but you and Sargon had a decent relationship until you decided to nuke it. Motherfucker, how do you know? You realize at this point I've probably spent more time, Toma, at this point I've spent more time talking to you than I've ever spent talking to Sargon. The fuck do you know about our relationship, and how are you calling it a relationship to begin with? Oh my god, this is some terminally online shit. This is, what time is it? 7 o'clock. I still have time to touch some grass after this. Jesus. Okay. Until you decided to nuke it, why not go back to that response video he did after your rant about him and watch that again? It's been a few years and you seem to have remembered that you actually agree with a lot of things you said 3+ years ago. Oh my god. Alright. You realize that Sargon at this point calls himself a conservative. And like, don't get me wrong, good for him. It's part of the reason I don't give a fuck about anything he says anymore, because he's saying it as a conservative, not as a centre-left liberal. So, you know, it's live your best life, be who you're meant to be, etc. But the thing is, back in the day, I remember a certain person called Laughing Witch, who many of you probably don't know who the fuck that is. And I remembered Laughing Witch accusing Sargon of being a conservative. And I remembered hearing that and almost falling off of my chair because I was laughing so fucking hard at how preposterous that accusation was. Sargon has a video on his channel called "The Conservatives Are Your Enemy." It was a good video. You should go watch it. I'm not the person who has switched my values and shit over the last 3 years. I'm not the person who is dramatically shifted my politics and my fucking what I identify as and all of that shit. Like, that's not me who switched on that. And I'm sick of people like you pretending that it is so that you can have something to say. No, motherfucker, you need to hold this L. Your boy identifies as a conservative. He ran for elected office as a member of fucking UKIP. He's constantly promoting Tommy Robinson, fucking fangirling over Nigel Farage. And I've mentioned this before, but when I said that I've spoken to you more than I've spoken to Sargon at this point, when I did speak to Sargon in that 5-minute conversation I had with him ages ago, he lied about everything he told me in that conversation. He told me that, people like Paul Joseph Watson and Lauren Southern aren't really part of our thing. They're their own separate thing because they're not like us. Next thing I know, he's sitting in fucking strategy meetings and going to the pub with the fucking guy. He's doing everything he can to attend and promote events that have Lauren Southern speaking on a massive screen like she's Big Brother or some shit. At a free speech event where they actively deplatformed the only fucking Muslim speaker who they got shamed into fucking inviting. Like, for real, you people need to get the fuck over this whole Sargon thing. Please, I beg you. Like, I'm done with it. Like, he calls himself a conservative. Done. Don't give a shit. Why do you? What is this fucking hold that man has over you people? And as for that video, dude, that video, do you mean the Wosley agrees with Tommy Robinson video? The hour and 20-minute video he made to explain why he's such a busy person he couldn't possibly spare 10 minutes to read the fucking report he's talking about? Are you talking about that one? The one where Sargon, man of the people, calls me a fucking nobody. You mean that one? Do you mean the video where Sargon goes to great lengths to praise the Times as being a trustworthy and reputable source, which is why he doesn't need to take the time to actually go read the fucking report he's talking about and can just take the word of them? Okay, well, let's take the word of them and assume Carl is in fact a racist troll. This is just the shit I remembered off the top of my head about that video. It is the single worst fucking response video I've ever seen to anybody on anything. And the thing is, I remember exactly what I was doing this day as well. Because I was out walking my dog and I got a notification on my phone telling me about the video. I think someone tweeted at me or something. And I was thinking, what? I clicked through it and I just saw the title. Wosley agrees with Tommy Robinson. And I just saw my avatar on the thing. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. Got home, took the dog off the lead, went to the kitchen, got a beer, got my notepad out, got a pen, sat on the couch. I was like, all right, let's go. Hit play. I made like 2 notes in my notepad. And then roughly about 20 minutes in, I found I had put my notepad down. By like 40 minutes in, I was literally face palming. I was thinking to myself, what the fuck is this? This is just molding. And I went from excited to curious to bored. I was bored watching the fucking video. And if I'm bored watching the video, I am going to be so fucking bored responding to it. So I didn't. I was like, whatever. Also, part of the impetus for those Sargon videos was to kind of fumigate my channel. Because Sargon's people, like the worst excesses of them, they're kind of fucking insufferable. I was forced to deal with a lot of them, like during the whole Crouch shit, and I was sick of dealing with them. Really sick of dealing with them, and I just went them off all of my shit. So I gave my channel a good healthy dose of chemotherapy, and I thought like the Sargon video, like Sargon making an actual video, that would really do the job of like fumigating a lot more. But bro, he uploaded that video, I think I lost about 5 subs as a result of that. Like I can lose more Sargon sycophants from my channel on my own than he can on his. So like what's the fucking point? Don't get me wrong, if Sargon ever says anything like super dumb or super interesting or something comes up along that way, like okay, I'll talk about it. I'm not saying I'll never fucking talk about him ever again, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to. I don't really give a shit. It's done. I'm over it. And hopefully you fucking people can get over it now as well. It's been 3 years. Come on now. Anyway, let's wrap up Toma's fucking comments, because this has literally just been a video response to Toma at this point. Yeah. Hey Toma, you got one up on Sargon. I never respond to that fucking guy, so there you go. Also, explain to me how people are not being literal when they say you are just mad because you can't jerk off to it. That is very literal. Are you asking me to explain jokes to you? Like when people say you're being a dead horse, do you think they are actually like accusing you of going out and beating a dead horse? No, it's a meme. They know it gets on his nerves, so they keep saying it to him. They don't give a shit whether or not it's true, they just know that it annoys him. Jeez, Toma. I mean, like, bro, I appreciate the comment and everything, but... oh boy, oh boy. Anyway, moving on. This one is from a guy called... What's it? Nonem Narson. Is that Indian or something? I don't know. Anyway, Nonem, I guess. He says, wait, so what did the quartering do wrong again? His videos can be annoyingly empty, but he's more of a, hey, look at this stupid news story channel. If you don't like them, don't watch them. Sage wisdom there. So, here's the thing. A lot of people said similar things to this, and the video isn't about the quartering. The reason the quartering comes up a lot is because I was trying to make a good faith attempt to try to find out if there was anything credible or anything that I should be aware of behind this like fan backlash toward Cowboy Bebop. That was me doing due diligence. That's why I look to people like the quartering. The fact that the quartering have very little to offer isn't my fault. Like, if he had made stunning arguments and like sterling points all the way through that shit, then I would have been forced to talk about those and address those and agree with them if I did. But he didn't, so I didn't. I mean, I don't know what, like, I'm sorry. I mean, it is what it is, man. I can only comment on what I can see. So, yeah. Sorry, I don't know what you want from me, man. I really don't. Okay, next comment is from Clopping is my thing. Interesting name there. Interesting. Alright. When a part of your life you forgot about comes barging into your sub box. Well, I'm glad you must be one of the 900 or so people who have notifications turned on. Because trust me, this was in barely anybody's sub box. First video like 2 years. Yeah, mate. YouTube was like, give fucking vent. Anyway, they continue. On the race switching thing, you are a little correct that people might be overreacting with the whole changing everyone's race thing. But it's just there wasn't representation. Okay, I don't really know what that paragraph is getting at, so I'm just gonna pretend we're moving forward. It's just society trying to fix a problem but taking it way too far. Also, don't you think that if an actor is good enough and their race shouldn't matter for the role? Okay, yes and no. It depends on the role and it depends on the actor. It also depends on the race, frankly. But here's what I'll say about this, okay? I have never seen a film that was bad because the filmmakers race swapped a character. But I have seen many bad films where the filmmakers swapped characters' races. You know, the decision to race swap a character doesn't necessarily mean that the film is going to be bad in and of itself, but it does tell you something about the priorities of the filmmakers, typically. It does typically tell you about the lengths to which they care about the source material, which is normally not a great deal. And it also tells you about other influences that might be impacting the creation of that film. Ghost in a Shell, main character is Asian. Scarlett Johansson was in the lead. Now, what the fuck do you think made that happen? Was it racism? Or was it the fact that it's fucking Scarlett Johansson wanting to play the role? A lot more goes into these decisions than people would have you believe. I think it's important to kind of get beyond the fucking marketing narratives of multinational corporations and have real discussions about what the fuck is actually going on. Anyway, they continue. It would be odd that someone like Will Smith would be rejected from a role because he's black. No, I don't know, maybe I'm missing your point. No, it would not be odd that Will Smith would be rejected from a role because he's black, and I'll give you an example. So, The Dark Tower is a series of books by Stephen King, and the main protagonist is a guy called Roland, also known as the Gunslinger, and in this book there is a character called Adet, or Debtor. What's his name? Oh, you know what I mean? So many names. But basically this is like a fucking, I'm trying to figure a good way to describe them, but let's just say schizophrenic fucking character, okay? And one of the personalities that she has is racist as fuck. So how exactly does that work with Idris Elba cast as a main character? Because a black woman calling a black man a cracker? That's just weird. What do? Do you change the racist black female to a racist white female? And then just start throwing fucking N-bombs all over the goddamn place? I mean, there's multiple problems there, because now not only are you introducing a whole different brand of racism into this world, but you're also whitewashing a fucking character to boot. So it seems like the filmmakers essentially dealt with all of these very, very problematic things by just completely cutting the character out of the film in its entirety. So yeah, job done. Massive, massive character from the books just completely omitted because fuck it. You know what I mean? So, yes, there are certain circumstances where you should just have the balls to be like, you know what? This one ain't for you, man. Sorry, not this one. And actually, whilst we're on the subject of Idris Elba, the whole James Bond film, like, no, James Bond should not be a black man either. Like, James Bond is not a fucking nice character, man. Like, James Bond is this weird kind of fucking old world imperialist hangover. He lived an exceptional life of privilege. He was educated at Eton. He was graduated from fucking Cambridge, I think. Was part of his backstory. You know, his parents are fucking millionaire, like, rich toffs who got killed on a fucking mountaineering accident or some shit. Only a white man lives a life like that and then volunteers himself to become some fucking cog in this dying imperialist machine. You can't even get a black man to join the police force. No self-respecting fucking black man with like an education and prospects and all of this other shit is gonna fucking volunteer themselves to be the lapdog of fucking Dame Judi Dench or whatever the fuck they're playing her now. Like, it ain't happening. I'm sorry. It's just so fucking unbelievable to me. And maybe it's because I'm British that I see a lot more nuance into that shit. You know, like, for instance, when I've noticed that when someone like an American hears like a well-spoken British voice, you know, when they hear someone who talks like this, like, you kind of fall into it and you're like, oh, this guy must be really intelligent. Wow, this is really authoritative. I should listen to this person. I hear that voice and I go to myself, that's probably a fucking idiot. That's probably a man who's lived a sheltered existence that doesn't know fucking anything about the real world, and everything they say should be suspect. Because that's normally the kind of person who has that voice. I'm from the country where they create those fucking people. They are not to be trusted. And the only people more dangerous than them are the people who affect the voice that they have in order to pretend to be like them. Those are the real fucking problems. And that's who a black James Bond would be. He'd be someone trying to fit in and trying to belong to somewhere where he just doesn't, and he fucking would know it. He would know it. And they're not gonna address that in a fucking James Bond film. They're never gonna, like, it would be interesting if they did dissect it and experiment with it and like analyze that, but they never will. They never will. So fucking don't do it. You're not gonna do it right, don't do it. Anyway, clopping is my thing, continues. I think the anti-feminist of you is showing up a bit much with the whole women just have to show up statement. No, I absolutely fucking stand by that, okay? Like, you can look at Gal Gadot through the years of her, like, apparently doing intensive workout regimes and apparently doing fuck all. And they're the same. It's the same fucking body type, alright? Miss me on this shit. I'm sorry, you can anti-feminist me all you want. I don't give a fuck. I will die on this hill. Women do not do shit compared to men in terms of attaining body types for action roles. I said it, I'll say it again. I will die saying it because it's fucking true. And you don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. You just have to open your eyes and fucking acknowledge it. Moving on. Because the trad woman that incels read about does take a level of work to achieve. Are you trying to like come at me with like natural beauty kind of stuff? Dude, you think Chris Hemsworth doesn't have natural beauty and shit like that? No, of course he does. But he also fucking eats his goddamn chicken and gets his ass to the gym, okay? Miss me on this shit. Now, I do understand your entire point is talking about double standards and how people defending it are hypocritical. Not so much with the hypocrite stuff. I mean, like, arguments based on like hypocrisy are so fucking weak, man. Like, if it's there on a plate, I'll mention it, but it's never the crux of my argument. Like, oh my god, you're a hypocrite. Like, who gives a fuck? But that statement is really problematic. Yes, I use a buzzword, so for argument's sake, you should redact that or amend it or something, says that sexist comment, because that's what it was, overshadows the entire argument. Wait, hang on a minute, I need to take let me take a whole pass on this again. Okay, so I think what you're saying is that the statement that women generally don't have to put much effort into attaining a body type suitable for the character that they're playing is sexist and therefore problematic. Bro, like, nah. I don't know, it isn't. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry, but it isn't. Like, yeah, I said loads of sexist stuff in that video. and I'll stand by it. You know why? Because I thought it was funny. Whether or not it was at the time, I don't know. I might change my mind later on. I don't really watch my own videos, so who the fuck knows? But like, yeah, I'll stand by the attempt to be funny. But like that actual argument, I don't find that sexist at all. I just think that's real. I'm sorry. I mean, I calls it like I sees it. And they finish up by saying, I also do find it funny that this entire 40-minute video was just done to poison the well. You're gonna have to be way more specific on that one, because I have no idea who the fuck who like poisoning the well for who and how. You know, I'm sorry, I can't mind read that shit. Okay, I'm starting to get bored. No offense to everyone else. I think we'll do a couple more. So next up we have Tristan Evans. Okay. 2 years later, hey, I'm drunk, so might as well go after the easiest neckbeard target on YouTube. People have probably forgotten about the doxing server video I was supposed to... oh my god. Jesus Christ. Just when I thought I was out. Gotta be back in. Okay. Probably forgotten about the doxing server video I was supposed to make by now. Am I right? Okay, so I'm guessing you're talking about the Kraut video. So, for people who don't know, this is a deep cut right now. I made a video called What Happened to Me, Gamers Rose Up. And that was gonna be the first in a 4-part video series where I basically talk about my entire like existence on this kind of like YouTube political thing. I only made one video of that series though, because the second video was meant to be all about Kraut, and the Kraut stuff is complicated for a number of reasons. See, initially it was complicated because there was this entire cottage industry on YouTube, which was just basically built on his downfall. And so there are lots of people who have a vested interest in perpetuating that downfall and doing everything they can to essentially try to step on his neck so that they can get a leg up. And that shit fucking disgusts me. And I would not want to do anything at all to help those people in any way. Like, I would not piss on these fucking people if they were on fire and I was dying for a piss and they were begging me to piss on them. I would hold on to that shit until my kidneys explode. And this makes it hard because there's a lot of shit that is interesting in the Kraut story. There's a lot of stuff, like, no one knows what actually happened with it. There's only like a handful of people that know like the entirety of what happened with that shit. Because you can barely trust anything that Kraut fucking says. I'll tell you that for nothing. Like, everything Kraut says is fucking suspect, because everything Kraut says is motivated for what Kraut wants you to think of that shit. And what Kraut wants you to think is that he's the fucking greatest guy ever, and he's a martyr, and the whole world was persecuting him, and everything was everyone else's fault, and it's got nothing to do with him, yet he's simultaneously at the center of everything. You know, he's creating everything, he invites all these people into his circles and shit, and yet somehow everything's everyone else's fault. Kind of weird how that always happens, right? Well, there's a reason why that happens, and you can't really do the Kraut story without talking a lot about all the Kraut stuff, and it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And I don't know what people think that video is. I really don't. I think everyone like has, because everyone looks at the internet in terms of sides stuff, and I don't do that. So you have people who are like with part of the Bloodsport shit, and they're like on Kiwi farms and everything, and they all think that they know everything, and they're all gonna be judging the shit by what they believe is true because, you know, they think they have the truth. They don't know shit. In fact, they probably know less than people who know nothing, because they have like negative information. They are steeped in bullshit. And then you have other people who are like friendly with Kraut, some of whom actually know a lot of the stuff that happened, but would never say anything because they know that a lot of this stuff makes Kraut look really, really fucking bad. So they have a vested interest to never say anything, and maybe even argue against it. Have some desire to protect Kraut, because that's what Kraut kind of surrounds himself with, people who will like put his interests even above their own and compromise them in that kind of way. And then you have other people. You have like the Sargon types who, you know, it's just like there's no protagonist in the Kraut story. It's just shit, just bullshit and liars everywhere. There's no hero to that story. So if you think your fucking little clique and your little guy is gonna be the fucking hero of that story, trust me, all of your heroes are scumbags. I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's probably true. So understand, when you ask me why aren't you making a Kraut video, what you're essentially asking me is, hey, why aren't you committing yourself to making a 3 to 4 hour video that will just be like catnip for all of the internet's fucking idiots to just camp out on your channel and give you shit indefinitely and make it absolutely impossible for you to talk about literally anything else that you might want to talk about. Although I don't really have that many people watching my channel right now, so that might not really be that big a deal. Most of the people who like benefited from kind of fucking over Kraut, they ain't even around anymore. Like, I don't even, where the fuck do you even watch Ethan Ralph and Killstream? Is that still a thing? It must be a thing. Like, I see him posting about drama all the time, but I have no idea where the fuck you would go to watch his show. Yeah, they're all done. And conversely, Kraut is bigger than he's ever been. Kraut's got like fucking, I think like 5 times more subs than he had when they like tried to fuck him with him. And he's always bragging about how that audience is completely isolated and how he can shit on whoever he wants because it doesn't get back to his audience because they're not part of this whole thing. It might actually be time to make the fucking Kraut video, you know. I'll try. If it doesn't go well, if it doesn't feel right, or if I get bored, then I won't. Okay? That's that. Don't ask me for it. If you don't see it, if it's not the next video I upload, it's probably not happening. Alright. So, fuck it, this is a 40-minute video. I think that'll do. Thanks to everyone who left a comment. I'm sorry that the comments were weird, this weird. We got into some shit. Hopefully it was worth it for people. I don't think we really covered too much about the video, but I don't think most people just kind of agreed with the video, which was weird. I was expecting more. I don't know what I was expecting. To be honest, I wasn't even expecting anyone to be watching the video. Like, first video back in like 2 years with like a channel just being fucking crippled by the algorithm. I was expecting like maybe 100 views, if that. But yeah, who knew? You're still around. Fucking hell. So thanks, and I'll see you next time. It's either gonna be the Kraut video or QEs. Either way, we'll have something to talk about.